Welcome back to the Comic Book ASMRtist. Today we're going to be looking at another previews catalog. This one just came out, and the books are in here are going to come out in February. So, just be turning pages and looking through it. Your shop usually has one of these if you do have a local comic shop. If you do not have a shop, this looks really cool, then you should go to comicshoplocator.com, put in your zip code, and you should be able to find one for your area. But typically, most shops have these. This is how they order their own books. So, you have free comic book days, always the first Saturday in May. Wasn't able to get any books this week, so just bills and Christmas and all that good stuff, but at least I had this nice free catalog, which I know you guys enjoy. There's the new Jean Grey there, and you'll see more from her in a bit in the other Marvel's previews book I have. I'm excited about this. They have the Andy Kaufman's graphic novel story coming out. I did see the Jim and Andy documentary about Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman recently. Really enjoyed it, so I'm sure it'll touch on a lot of what that movie, well, the Man on the Moon movie, not Jim Carrey's movie, but Andy's actual life. I'm sure it'll touch on a lot that we already know, and maybe some we don't. But it will be interesting to see nonetheless. And that guy, he had previously done a comic about Andre the Giant's life, which was really good, which I recommend as well. And here's Dave Gibbons. He's the guy who drew Watchmen here. So if you like his work, there's a new collection coming out of his work, the originals, $30. Curious to see. Oh, now this is cool here. Look. They have, this is the same book as this, but this is a special version. It looks like the original cartridge for Zelda. That's super cool. This is good if you want to read about people who write comics, or draw comics rather. It's a nice little insight into artists' lives. Whose cover is that? I think that's it's Dave Stewart's cover. I know Paulo Rivera paints too, but I don't know if he painted this cover, but I really like it. Now coming in the DC section, and these here, DC is trying something new. What I've really liked so far about DC's Rebirth is they've really done a lot of fan service to the fans of the older DC. who weren't 100% keen on the New 52 relaunch. So the Rebirth launch essentially has set a lot of things back to how they were, or put certain heroes back into the DC universe. In these books here, these are brand new characters. Well, some of them are. We got, Plastic Man and stuff, but we have new characters in the DC universe. And they're trying they have these cool covers that fold out. This is the middle, like how you see the book on the stand. But then you fold it out, and you get this image. And even that wasn't enough to sell me on it. But on the back side, they're also going to have an image on the back where all these posters on the back are going to connect. And the reverse side image it features drawings by Andy Kubert, Jim Lee, Romita Jr., Tony S. Daniel, Philip Tan, and Kenneth Rocaford. And those are the guys who are doing the DC books. So, and they keep mentioning these guys have appeared in Metal, and we haven't seen them yet in the Dark Knights Metal event. So that's the one thing that annoys me, is like they keep saying these guys come from that event, but we haven't seen them yet. So, but I am gonna pick up the number ones, I think, just to see those covers, and if I do like the books, then I will continue to pick them up, obviously. And the cool thing too is they're only $3 for them, so even though they have these special big covers, they're still going to be $3. So I hope they do okay. I don't know if they will, because they are brand new concepts. So a lot of what's made DC successful right now is them giving fan service. So, but hopefully it'll work. But we'll see. This is something bizarre coming out too. This is the Milk Wars. It's a kind of an offshoot sort of thing. This image right here, I don't know if you can see it very well. But it's from the, what's it called? I'm trying to remember the line. DC's Young Animal line, which is just a lot of really quirky comics as it is. Cave Carson and stuff like that. And I'm not 100%, I think the premise, and I can read it here for you, but it's just a little bizarre. It's welcome to the unevent of the year, kicking off a line-wide adventure. DC's Young Animal collides with the DC universe to bring you a different kind of crossover. The Doom Patrol has discovered that an interdimensional corporation called Redco has been stealing stories, reconfiguring them, and repackaging them for new markets. Our gang of misfit heroes felt the touch of this nefarious company and has already started to change them. Even scarier, though, is how deeply Redco has embedded itself into current continuity, using the radioactive milk of psychic cows to quell the more dangerous impulses of the Justice League and turn them into heroes safe for the masses. And to kick this off, Redco has gone all the way to the top. So, these are the offshoot characters. Meet Milkman Man, heretofore unknown, final son of Krypton, who was sent to our planet to save him from the destruction of his home world, only to be adopted by an evil dairy farmer and raised to love all things dairy. Co-plotted by Steve Orlando, Gerald Way, and art by Aiko. This extra-sized special starts the Milk Wars with a splash. So that's Milkman Man. And this is Father Bruce. And this is, let's see, I wonder if it's gonna say who it is or not. Wonder Wife. So, just really quirky. I don't know if I'll pick it up, but it's just fun to see random concepts like that, so. Oh. If you haven't needed any convincing to buy the metal event from DC, here's what the final issues cover looks like. So, just completely over the top, you know. So, if you want to see what that cover is all about, which, I mean, who doesn't, right? Go ahead and pick those books up. And right now they're releasing about one a month, it seems. So, it's a good time to go back and get the rest if you haven't. Now, this event just started last week here, Doomsday Clock. And this is a big deal here. I did read the first part, which I'll show you guys the cover for my copy probably in the next couple weeks maybe. But it was good, the art was good. But it was really just a setup book, so there weren't a ton of things in it that were earth changing for me yet, you know, but it was a good setup piece, so. This is a big deal. The Superman Action Comics 1000, they're actually just making it a huge hardcover. Since it's 1,000 issues of Action Comics, they're making it a huge hardbound book. It is going to be 384 pages. It's on sale April 11th, and it's $30. So. And I think it's going to have maybe some reprint material, but then obviously a new story is going to be in there too. Hardcover serves as a companion. Oh. So maybe it says this new hardcover serves as a companion to the Action Comics 1000 comic book coming in March. So it sounds like they might still release a just regular comic as well, but to my knowledge this was the only one they were putting out. Let me just do a quick read. I'm not gonna read all of this, but first, so it's gonna have a poster in there. Hey, there's an unpublished Superman story from the 1940s that's going to be in it. So I think it's going to have reprinted material and just touching on some high notes of the Action Comics. Yeah, this is part of the Superman series, essentially, so I think I'll be picking it up just to put with my other collection, you know, but I'm not sure if it's just going to be straight up reprints. Like I said, there is that unpublished story from the 40s, but I don't know if there's going to be anything to add to the current Superman storyline, but I'll be picking up just, you know, it's a special book, so. And then the big thing too, Booster Gold is coming back into the DC universe. I haven't seen him in a while, so that's going to be big. I've really been liking these covers by Stepan Sebjic. If that's even how you say his name. I've talked about that previously, you know. We love these artists' work, and then we meet them and we call them, pronounce their names wrong, which has happened to me, so. Yeah, I've been pretty pleased with my DC books I've been getting. I think they're doing really good things at DC right now. So I'm just really gonna hang back and turn pages here a bit. I don't have a lot to say unless I see something interesting. Nearing the end of the DC section here. So yeah, correction too, in my last video, I was talking about Hawk and Dove being created by Liefeld. I was not educated in the fact that Hawk and Dove were around way before, and I mean way before, Liefeld, so I apologize for that mistake, but this book actually reprints some of their classic tales, and apparently Steve Ditko had a hand in it. He's the guy who was drawing Spider-Man for all those years. A lot of other big names too, Gil Kane, Neil Adams. So it was something that I was unaware of. I was just knew that he had worked on the 80s stuff, and I thought that was the start of it, but this definitely is an indicator of, hey, guess what, you were wrong. So this is cool too. They have an art of Darwin Cook. He passed away last year, and his work is just phenomenal. I really love, you know, the simplistic line work, and whenever you're able to show so much power and emotion in your books. Like even Bruce Timm stuff as well. A lot of people just sweep it under as just being cartoony, but the man has done some incredible things on the page and, you know, on the screen as well, that transcend being cartoony, you know, so I thought this was right in there. Goosebumps is a comic book now. That's the thing. IDW especially, like I said before, they do licensed comic books, and all their stuff, I mean, like, you never know what, look, they got a Clue comic. You never know what you're gonna get from IDW. A Stretch Armstrong book now, which is a Netflix show now, I guess. My kids saw it on there, and I had to show them what my generation Stretch Armstrong was, and then there's ones even older than I grew up, so it's fun to have those little gems to share with the kids. But yeah, see, here's the Goosebumps series. And what's funny is my kids really enjoyed it too. It's kind of had a resurgence since it's been on like Netflix and stuff. No, I definitely cannot recommend these enough. These artist editions, the interiors, it's essentially a faithful scanning of the original art done for various books. This one's all Marvel covers. There's Spider-Man ones. There's a Jim Starlin one. And they're just really incredible. If you're huge on just wanting to see the originals, the books usually run around $150 or so, but they are impressive and amazing, especially if you're someone who draws or things like that. This is a big deal. This book has been gone for a while, and I guess Romita Jr. is drawing it again too, so that's kind of huge. Now, me personally, I know I'm a stick in the mud, but I do not swear, and I do not read swears, if you've noticed in my videos, so I do refer to this as kick butt, so if you want to goof on me for that, go ahead, but the concept of that comic is just, it's really good, you know, heroes trying to be a superhero in the real world and just having stuff not pan out quite right. I think it's a great concept. And I remember in the movie, whenever that kid, when he first puts on the costume and then he tries to stop that mugger and he gets stabbed immediately and just bleeds out. Like, You don't see that ever in a comic, so it's just fun to see the genre, I guess, if you want to call it that, just get turned on its head. And you'll be seeing more of these image things, because I have the image previews book to show you guys too. So don't worry about that. But I love these things, and every month, and my shop actually gives this for free. Whenever you order something from it from the previous month, you get the next one for free. But even so, these are like $5 at your shop. And they're just neat, you know, you can see snapshots of what's coming and be introduced to new things you weren't even aware of, whether it's, you know, Goosebumps or, you know, Andy Kaufman book coming, or toys, like who knew they would make a toy for this game. So it's just neat, you know. I keep contemplating getting, I know I need to read this, I haven't, but I know it's a required reading type of thing. I don't know much about it, but I know it's a big deal. And I tried to meet the guy who made the book like 2 years ago. And unfortunately he was really busy just talking to other people, so I didn't get to meet him. And I had stood there for a while. And there wasn't a line, but he was just involved and engaged with talking to someone else. I was assuming it was a close friend or something, and I wanted to pick something up from his table, you know, get him to sign it, but it just never happened, so. But hopefully he'll come back down. I know he's been down here a few times, but if he does, I really want to get the Calvin and Hobbes collection too. This has been out for a while, and my kids have been introduced to that too, and they love Calvin and Hobbes. And I think you'll find very few kids that don't like Calvin and Hobbes. The concept is just so pure and entertaining and humorous, you know, and the art's terrific. And this is just really the section that I know little to nothing about coming up here, I believe, so if I fall silent, that's why. See, look at how beautiful that cover looks. The origin of the Goblin King. This Clayface statue looks incredible too. I think it's only $60 as well. See, I think this is what the interiors look like up top there. Who's doing the art? Daniel Bayliss. I've never heard of him. I have a cover by Fiona Staples. She does Saga. Jill Thompson. Bill Signs with. I've never known how to pronounce his name. I love his work, but I'm sure it's just like Signwick or something. Signwick. I don't know. I wish I did. Here's a Peanuts collection here. I think there'll be some times where I show you guys. See, they even have wrestling comics where I will show you guys I'll read you guys some just classic comic strip stuff, whether it's Garfield or Peanuts, stuff like that. Because, I mean, if we want to get technical, that stuff definitely introduced me to comics. Just having a love for drawing and all that. And Rocko's Modern Life is still not out yet, but when it is, I will be picking it up. Oh yeah, have you guys seen the Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie that's come out last week? If you haven't, I recommend it. It's really good. I was actually part of the group that signed the petition to get the movie made, so, and that's been a long time ago, like maybe 8 or so years, so there were definitely periods where they weren't sure if it was gonna get made, so now they're working on trying to get a season 6, but the movie does tie up some story resolutions for Hey Arnold, so it's pretty cool. If you're wondering why I'm holding this, if I put it down, you get this glare. So, trying to fit everything in for you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in these books too, they have a chance to you can buy comics that are signed. And I always say it's great to meet the artists and the writers if you can, but if you're in a place where you can't, I cannot recommend these enough. I got, the Greg Capullo signed book maybe a month ago now, and it comes with that certificate in the back, so it's considered valuable because it has the actual authenticity in there. A lot of times you'll see people selling signatures on eBay or whatever, but these ones are authenticated, so they do hold value that way. But they've got some great ones in here, and they're pretty affordable, This one's a Scott Snyder signed book. It's $40. Selling them are a bit higher, obviously. Jim Lee's one is $300. Joe Quesada one is $100. It's a Stan Lee one, geez, $700. And when you meet him in person, it's usually around $200 or a little more for his signature. So, if you can meet him, it's definitely cheaper. But if you can't, they do have them available. Kubert signed book for $70. John Romita. And sometimes, see, they've got it marked down to $200, even though it says $300 is suggested, so sometimes you can catch a break on them. But, yeah, they're really great. A creator Deadpool signed that one, Fabian Nicieza. Sure I've mispronounced that, too. This one signed by Romita Jr. and Sr. and Stan Lee. Wow. And you get a sketch, I guess. Oh no, Jr.'s not in there, but it's the original John Romita Sr. and Stan Lee signed with a drawing on there. And that's like 1,000, but still, that's pretty cool. Yeah, see, here's a little promo for the Andy Kaufman book. Here it is here too. I want to check that out for sure. I'm not sure if on the next page it'll show. Yeah, see, here's the one he did previously, same artist. about Andre the Giant's life. And it was good, it was really good. Touched on his wrestling career, they talked about his health, Princess Bride stuff, of course. So, it's really neat. So this is a big deal here. Black Comics returns. It's about the African American independent comic community. So that'll be great. So yeah, let me know what you guys are excited to see or read that you have seen in this catalog here. What stuff are you currently reading that you're really enjoying? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to spread the love and subscribe and share the videos here so we can have more people involved in our discussion in our group here. See, Bloodborne. It's a video game. They're making a book out of that now. What you're gonna find. A Wally manga. Interior so you can see him there. And they've got some other ones they've done too. I'm sure they'll show them on the next page here. They did like a Nightmare Before Christmas one, and then they have Leaving with Stitch and Beauty and the Beast. So this section is just a lot of, random books. Not comic books per se, but just magazines and books geared towards people who like comics. T-shirt section here. I like the color on this Thanos shirt. What I look for now is the color in a shirt. The image is cool. I need variety. It's like you can have 20 images that are super cool, but if they're all a black shirt, it's like, okay, I got another black shirt I'm gonna wear. So it's just nice to have a change in their color palette, This is a really cool Wonder Woman statue here. There's that Clayface. $60. I wonder if it actually has where it looks shiny like that. Or it looks like a real clay, I love how they've been really gearing towards the fans of that show. Because they know we're adults and we might have money now, so. These statues are really cool. And they're not, look, they're not bad. This Link one is 80, this one's 90. So it's a little more than Ganondorf is 125, so is that guy. But that's not bad. Considering sometimes they have things you pay for the hundreds in, so I want to get my kid this here. He keeps wanting to play with my Link that I have, which is an $80 import from Japan. Lots of small pieces that come off. And, you know, I try to be careful. He's definitely broken a few of my things, so I'm glad he's interested and wants to look at my things, but at the same time I gotta be careful and make sure they don't get broken too, you know? Funko's trying something new. Looks like they have a line of kind of vintage, cartoonish looking creations now, aside from their Dorbs and their Pop Flakes. That's a nice Spidey. 200. See, I never cared for this design on Cap because they cover his nose all the way. And that was around 2000, maybe 2003 or 2002, during the Marvel Knights Cap run. I need to watch this show too. I know I haven't seen it. There's a lot of people who have, obviously. There's a lot of anime I haven't watched, but I think I would enjoy them if I watched them. It's always such a time investment though, you know? This is the toy section, obviously. And they have a Reptar costume now. My arm got cramped up, so that's why I put the book down. And I think this is where the book goes upside down. Flip it so you can see it. And Metal number 3 was in the top spot, followed by Thor 700 for the most books sold. I don't know if you're interested in seeing what was top, whatever, but I'll give a minute here where you can look at it. There's that for you guys. And then there is that nice metal promo again. It's definitely an unconventional story. next, let's look at the Marvel previews. And that's a great cover there, I like that. So Marvel just did their relaunch for the Legacy branding. I saw this disturbed me greatly. This is essentially where like the shooting happened in October here. I believe that's the Mandalay Bay there. So I don't know if they're gonna get backlash for that or not, but it really disturbs me. A lot about that concerns me, what happened there. My heart aches for those families who were affected by it. And I just wish we knew everything about it. But what can you do, right? But this storyline is about Doctor Strange being in Las Vegas. And apparently Mephisto comes to Earth and takes over Las Vegas, which, it's Sin City and things like that, so it makes sense. But at the same part, that's where that tragedy just happened not too long ago, so it's kind of eerie to me. And then this is the No Surrender story for the Avengers. Well, I know the premise is someone steals the Earth, and the Avengers are trying to get it back. And that's all I know. The book hasn't started yet, but it's going to be in Avengers. It's going to be on sale once a week. So, and each book's $4. So if you want to see what happens there, pick it up. Captain America's going to get frozen again. I don't know what'll happen there. I did like the first one that I read for the new Wade run. So, Spider-Man 300. Some nice Alex Ross covers here. I like that cover there. And then they have the Mayor Fisk storyline going on. Daredevil. The Kingpin is the mayor. Old Man Hawkeye. I don't know if you remember, but it's an offshoot of Old Man Logan. He was the driver in that story, which is odd because he's blind, but this excites me here. The Fantastic Four haven't been around for a while. At least see part of them again. And I'm pretty sure that they'll be reunited with the others at some point. And I think this will be kind of Marvel's next big thing. They say they're not doing any events, but this is called the Infinity Countdown. So I'm sure they're gonna do another thing where they're doing a story when the movie's out. But then the people go into the shop and they see it and buy it who are new to the comic book community, and they will get confused because they watch the Infinity War and then they see it. Oh, this is a new Infinity book, and it's nothing like what they've just seen, or even a follow-up at all. Some nice artwork there by Isab. So they're trying to do post-credit scenes at the end of key Marvel titles to promote this book, it looks like. Which is kind of interesting. I wonder if they're going to collect all those little vignettes into one book, though. I hope they do. Now, I never pick these up, but there's always something that interests me about them. because they are supposed to be preludes to the main movies that are coming, so, but I'm not sure of the quality or the actual timeline of the books or anything like that. This interests me too, this guy, he likes to do where he replicates kind of an old feel. The yellowing pages and that. Oh, here's a book here. It's an original graphic novel, so this one was never a comic here. A floppy one, rather. It's by Jim Starlin and Alan Davis, Infinity Siblings. So, looks pretty good to me. I really like Jason Aaron's Thanos story he did. It was maybe about 4 years ago. A lot of people didn't like it because it showed a side of Thanos that they didn't care for. It more or less made him where he was like mentally disturbed. But I thought it was an interesting angle on the character. His obsession with death, you get to see where that all comes from, so. And I don't know if you know this, but the study of death is actually called thanatology, so. I thought that was interesting because as a kid I never knew that. And in college I learned that, and he's married to Lady Death, and so I just thought that was neat. Alright, let's look at the image previews. Now my leg is starting to fall asleep. So the Image Expo is coming to Portland, February 21st. You can go get your tickets. Right there, I believe. I went to it when they had it they had it the day before the Emerald City, like 2 years ago. And that was really cool. So I do recommend it. I really love the creativity and the passion that goes into Image comics. Look at that, like you're not gonna find that anywhere else. Well, I mean, technically if someone's self-published, but as far as like the big two, DC and Marvel, you're never gonna see something like this. So I love being exposed to the different art styles. And then these magazines are nice too because they have interviews with the creators. The first few they were actually talking with the founders like Todd McFarlane and Mark Silvestri and stuff, so it was really cool. There's some more simplistic line art there. Here's Aesop's new book here. What is this called? I guess it's called Versus. Yeah, VS Versus. She's definitely one of my favorite newer artists I've discovered when I was reading the Thor story, the God Killer, a while ago. That was maybe about 4 years ago too, by Jason Aaron and them. It's just really well done. Now this is gonna be something totally random. I don't know if it's a monster or a hero, but I think it's someone who's made out of like ground beef. This series is called The Beef. So, we're talking about like having stuff mixed in hamburger to alter people or something. I'm not sure, but here's the preview for it here. Here's a nice preview of old Kick Butt here. I really like the coloring that they've done to complement Ramita's art. A lot of times it's usually flatter coloring, but this really seems to blend well. Alright, well that does it for this week's episode. Feel free to look around on my channel, look at some of my comic reading videos and other videos I have, and I'll see you back here next week. Have a good day or good night.